they have to tell you?
Oh, they do, because we're colleagues. I mean, Sandra and I, she called me up one day and said, I'm stuck, I got a job in Oakville, and I need an excavator. Can you help me? You could go through the yellow pages, you could search the internet, you could pluck names out one after another and call them up. But calling somebody that you knew and getting a referral from them and having that person work out, well, that's huge. That in itself makes up for the cost of membership in itself. Never mind all the other things.
And as a result of that referral, which was about 1.5 years ago,
yeah.
I've used Henry several times, and I just used him last week on an excavation, so it started a relationship with a new sub for me.
And you build your network that's bigger.
Exactly.
Because now the people that you know, that Sandy didn't know, now she knows.
Yeah, she knows them. Now she's got an excavator who's got very fixed costs, by the way.
Yeah.
His costs would be in here. They're
Yeah.
probably experiencing the same costs. And if you hired Henry tomorrow and you said that you knew me or Sandra, you would get the same costs. And that's sort of building up and costing. And again, I'm going to give out a business card later. Any of the things I'm reading here today, I will send to you if you send me an email. So you send me an email saying, hey, I saw you, I heard you speak on Thursday. I will actually send it all to you. It will be yours. I will strip out, obviously, the letterhead and the rest of it, but it's just an Excel sheet. Yeah, I built it. I could or go in this place. How many square feet of hardwood flooring at what cost are being installed in this home? We'll get plus minus 10. In the final phase, we expect, we have an error margin of plus minus 4. So anytime we're within 4% of the actual cost, we consider that a success. So we say it's going to cost $120,000 and it ends up costing $128,000. That's not a failure. You know, arguably you'd like to be a little tighter, you'd like to always be overbid, but it doesn't happen. You've got some flex, and if you're here in this line, you're okay. If you're up higher, you're not. Typically for finals, Sandra may differ, we need a full scope of work. At Royal, sales staff will go out, meet with somebody, take back notes, bring back information, particularly on large jobs, and then we, House, will produce a contract for them. And you guys have likely gone through contracts, so I won't bore you with that, or payment terms or any of those things. But to give you an idea, and I don't know how different we are, Sandra and I did chat a couple times. Here's a contract for a project we did. It's 26 pages. The project, three. Yep. Well, tract home builders build at this cost.
What is it?
$75.
What's that last percentage? And is that
Plus minus 4%. So if you're plus minus 4% your final costing, you're never perfect. No one ever does a large job and gets perfect. I mean, hopefully you get perfect, and some you will get under, but there's tremendous sales pressure. I mean, if you just go in and you're lazy and you say, well, you know what, I think it's going to cost around 100, but just in case I'm going to think it's going to cost 125 and I'll try and charge markup on that, well then, what about the guy or gal who's better than you, who's going to use a sharper pencil, who's going to be more comprehensive in their analysis? Well, they're going to be $30,000 less than you. You better have a good relationship if you're going to hope to get that job. And there's always huge pressure. There's huge pressure at the sales end. I don't deal with that, but there's huge pressure at the sales end. From a production point of view, I'd want to jam cost into everything, but I can't, because I can't give that to Christian or John or Daryl and say, how much is it going to cost? I don't know, probably 100, but I just put 30,000 on there just to be safe. The guy's going to say, what are you, crazy? And take it back and sharpen it up. Because they've got other bids. No one ever operates with that.
I was wondering, what kind of knowledge is your sales staff while they're doing the sales?
Okay, and that's a good point. Good question. Sales guys, and I have the utmost respect for it. In fact, it's one of the skills that very, very difficult to teach, and it's very, very lucrative in that sales people who earn commissions usually make a lot more than other people, but it's a tension-filled environment. You don't have a salary, you don't know you're making you know, $1,800 every 2 weeks or whatever your salary is. Maybe 1 week you hit the jackpot and you get 7, maybe 1 week you get skunked. But sales, in our environment, I do sales training with our guys, it's about building relationship with people and having them trust you. How do you do that? At Royal, we do it with 3 Ps. You're polite, you're punctual, and you're professional. The industry has a bad rap of not being punctual, and so if you show up when you said you're going to show up, immediately you got a very good rapport. At Royal, we charge more than most. You can probably see our markup. It may seem difficult for you, although when you go out there, you'll discover that 65 is actually not that much. It's about a 38 or 35% gross margin, 1.65. If you do the math backwards, you're spending 66 cents for every dollar you're getting. And that's not large, because you got to make at least 10% at the end of the day, or you're not in the right business. The variety store owner makes 10% at the end of the day. You need to make 10% at the end of the day. So if you're polite, professional, and punctual, you understand their needs, you're able to sit at the table and talk to them, they will ask you many questions. In my opinion, it's always better to be honest. If you don't know the exact nature, method, cost, don't try and wing it. Those guys' jobs, the role of those people in our business is to get the information necessary from the people and bring it back to the house if needed, so that we can put together a presentation. We rely more on the ability to present information comprehensively and professionally than we do relationship. The old model, I don't think you guys are too young to remember the old model. The old model was the tin bagger, or the tin man sales guy. You went through the neighborhood and you went up to the home, you took your hammer and you pulled a little bit of the siding off the side, then you knocked on the door and you went, I noticed you have some damage on your home and I wanted you to know that I can help you fix that today. And that was a unique model. They have, and still do, although we don't do it, they have what's called door knockers. They'll go through the neighborhood, knock on doors and say, hi, we're just doing some work in your neighborhood, which is a lie, and our crew is free, and we wanted to know if we could do a little bit of eavesdropping.